top of page 36 of the 100-page report from the BE group of consultants was a sentence. In North East Cheshire, Knutsford is looking after itself. I can tell you when I saw that, I got angry. And I can tell you that I believe, and perhaps Jamie McRae can tell us whether this is so or not, but it just seems to me that if you haven't got a voice speaking on your behalf, if you haven't got a mandate or a powerful lobbying tool that is recognised by your local authorities, then you don't get anything. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Bollington has produced two town plans. They've got a grant. Poynton, they have produced their town plan last year, and they have got a grant. And so, along with everything else in the town plan, we'll be working on your behalf to get whatever we can for Knutsford. Thank you.
It's also now impartial. It's no axe to grind. It will offer advice that it thinks is most appropriate to any business that seeks it. And the other important thing is it's free of charge. So no matter how many times you use BusinessLink, you can use it 100 times a year, discover information, get advice, you'll never be able to be charged by any service that BusinessLink offers. So never feel that you shouldn't be using it. It's a bit like the health service. I see it. It's the first point of contact you go to. You go there for a diagnostic. If you have problems with your business, you go there for advice. You explain the symptoms you're suffering from. BusinessLink will guide you along the right route. It doesn't dismiss the private sector. Quite often the solution may lie in the private sector. You may need consultancy advice if you're going down that route, but most of the time, most of the problems you face, you can get free and useful advice through BusinessLink. In terms of the businesses, the kind of things we're talking about, obviously there's a whole range, there's international trade and so forth. I think two of the main ones that people should consider are access to finance. Anyone that's feeling a little bit of a stretch at the moment. When, even 2 years ago when BusinessLink was, the latest version was launched, it was targeting growth businesses. It was looking for people who were going to grow the economy. That's what we're all about. The last 12 months have shown us that lots of people are feeling a little bit of stress, and now BusinessLink is there to support those businesses and help them with any problems that they may have. So the first one may well be accessing finance. The other advantage of being wholly owned, if there is one, is that some of the banks are almost wholly owned as well. So there's some leverage there. So if you're having any problems with banks, BusinessLink, I would suggest, is the first point of call to explain the problems you're having and hopefully get some leverage with the banks to help you through that process.
So I've been pestered by Brian, who I've known for a long time, and quite rightly so, because he said, "What are you doing? How do we access things? We're hoping that we have actually got past those few hurdles. We've got some financial provision in place in the budget. We've started to go out and say, how can we help? Because every town's got slightly different problems. I don't want to get onto car parking because I've talked about car parking for 2 hours today in a cabinet meeting, such to say that's an issue that will be ongoing for some time. There'll be some harmonisation about car parking charges and these things over the next year. All sorts of representation on car parking. I picked up this when I came in about free car parking. One of the suggestions that came to from our scrutiny committee last week to Cabinet was, why can't you offer the first hour free in every car park in Cheshire East? And the immediate response is, that would cost us £2.5 million. And can you tell me what evidence that would give us? Because that's the take, because that's what it tells us. Would that be the best use of our money? People continue going about car parking. If I've got 30,000 to 40,000 in a budget, are there better ways of increasing footfall in towns such as Knutsford? There's very little evidence to say what the impact of car parking is. If you suddenly start to provide free periods, people start to change their shopping habits. They go on that day rather than another day. They don't come twice. in other areas they've said it's actually had a reverse effect. People are parked all day, blocked car parks out, people actually want to come and shop, couldn't even park. So, you know, I'd quite like to get any evidence or views on car parking. It's not my portfolio, but I have an input on it. And if any money is to be spent from the budgets I get to alleviate car parking, through another method, and I think this is a different view, if you know, there's a scheme in a local town where they're offering money back for car parking, that's a different way of supporting it. We could look at that as supporting an initiative. But going out there and just starting throwing money at free car parking won't necessarily, in my view, and maybe I'm wrong, necessarily you know, increase the trade. But it's not just about retail, it's about businesses. We're organising a whole series of breakfast club meetings, we're getting support through ACAS, there's a whole range of things that we're starting to put in place. I said I don't want to go in great detail through, you know, this update report I've got in all these areas, as much as to say I'd rather sort of spend the time you asking me questions on what you think would work for Knutsford, because they are very different. One of the things that I'm conscious of, especially the Shop Local campaign and web-based stuff and loyalty cards, everybody's coming at us saying, you know, we want to launch this scheme, we've got this idea. It seems to me that we can't respond to every individual market town. In Macclesfield, there's a lady, I can't remember the name, it's not local there. She's already put about 5,000 or 6,000 of her own money into a scheme that we've been looking at supporting in terms of loyalty cards. We've looked at all our little shops, which you may have seen on the website. They're in various towns in the country to be supported by local authorities. They're customised for each town and have lots of benefits for retailers and businesses who can't support their own networks and invoicing. And it's not really about shopping online. It's actually saying, if you want to buy these things, this is where we are. And it's all about supporting each other. So I could go on at length about what we're trying to do and what we've got in place. But I'm more interested in hearing your views as to what you think we should be doing, and also, if we're doing things right, how can you access it? I'll shut up at that point.
Okay. Got any questions? I'm sure we have.